everybody and welcome to my new video. This is Artlife. I'm Mrs. B and I'm an art teacher, and I'm always considering ways to be creative and some fun art lessons for everyone to do. Now recently I've been thinking about a way that we can commemorate this really interesting time in the COVID-19 pandemic. Now it's been a strange period of time because people have been home, we haven't necessarily been able to go to work, go see our friends, go to the park, and so we're in our homes together as families. It's actually a really beautiful time, challenging for some, but it is a moment in time that won't last forever. I was considering a way to commemorate this time and create a bit of an artistic keepsake for our time at home during the COVID pandemic. Now, this is the design of the artwork that I'm going to show you how to create today. The meaning behind it was the fact that in everyone's windows at the moment there are lots of rainbows to make everyone smile. So I thought that was a really good symbol for the pandemic, and also the fact that we're really only allowed to go for walks, and during our walks my daughters and I have been collecting lots of sticks and fun things to create art out of. Now I'll show you not only how to create this, but how to mix the colours using only 3 colours, and they are the primary colours. Stay tuned and I'll show you how. The materials that you'll need for today's lesson are some primary colour acrylic paint. That is red, blue and yellow. That is all you'll need because I'll teach you how to mix today. You'll also need a box frame. This is an example of a box frame. It means that the inside is a bit deeper than a normal frame, which means you can put objects on the inside. For the purpose of this task, I've taken the glass out, but you might choose to leave the glass in. I was able to get this from Bunnings Warehouse, but I think a lot of different places sell them. You'll also need some PVA or hot glue and some sticks from outside. I've put in a link down in the description of some places that you can get some of these products if you'd like to follow there. The first step for our task today is for you guys to go out and go for a bit of a walk. Now when you're on your walk, I'd love you to start to gather up some sticks. When you're looking for sticks, please look for ones that are sort of arched like this. You're looking for sticks that have a bit of a curve to it because we're making a rainbow, and the shape of a rainbow is an arch. Now the one that I'm going to show you today has 12 different colours, which means you'll need 12 different sticks. If you're having trouble finding enough sticks, you can do a version that only has 6 colours to it. So go out there, enjoy the sunshine and gather up some sticks with your family. Now once you've gathered up all of your sticks, what you need to try to do is arrange them into your shadow box frame. Now I need to make sure they fit, so you might need to break some of the sides. And remember, we're looking for 12. And the idea is to have them sort of interlock with each other and fit nicely within the frame. It might not really look like a rainbow yet, but once they're painted, it'll start to look like it. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Perfect. So once you have managed to get 12 arched sticks all in your frame, we're ready to paint. It is important to be very organised and keep them in the order that you want them, because we're needing to paint them in the colour order. So if we mix them up a bit, we won't know which colour each one needs to be. So I'm going to teach you now all about colour mixing, and we're going to start to paint them. Now remember when I said the only colours you would need to paint today would be the primary colours. They are red, blue and yellow. The primary colours are so important because they can actually mix together to make all the colours of the rainbow. Pretty much any colour that you can imagine are made from just these 3 colours. So today I'm going to be showing you how to mix two primary colours together to make a secondary colour. And then I'm going to show you also how to make tertiary colours, which is the next level of colour. Altogether, we will have 12 colours in total, and each of our sticks here will be one of those colours. So before we do any mixing, we're going to use our primary colours to paint each of the sticks. Now the first one, the largest stick, we're going to start off as red. So no colour mixing just yet, but when you paint, it is tricky because it's a bit of a rounded surface. Obviously you have to twist and turn it. It can be a little bit messy, but try your best to dab all of these little holes full of paint and cover it completely in your colour. This is a really lovely activity to do together as a family. And if you've gone for a nice walk and found the sticks together, maybe you could take in turns to mix the colours or take in turns to paint each of the sticks. Expect to get some messy fingers during this task. There we go. Alright, I'm happy with that. And that is my first band, my red. I'm going to leave that guy to dry. Now we still need this red here for our next colour. The next one we're going to do is not the next one here. We're going to count down. So we don't need that guy, we don't need that guy, we don't need that guy, we need this guy. So it's the 5th band down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, number 5. Number 5 is going to be our yellow. This guy is going to be a nice primary colour, yellow. Up to the edges. There we go. He's a little one. He didn't take very long. Alright, he's going to dry there. So that was number 5. Now we need this guy. So I'll count for you so that you can see. Goes there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Number 9. Number 9 is our blue stick. After this, we're going to get into our colour mixing. Beautiful. Alright, you can start to see what it's going to look like. The first thing we're going to do is make our first secondary colour, which will be a combination of red and yellow. Does anyone know what might happen there? We're going to go stick number 3 for that. Here he is. When mixing, it's really important to mix half and half of each colour, so using the same amount of each colour. You see I've got 50% of red, 50% of yellow there. When I mix that together, those primary colours are going to turn into a secondary colour. There we go. Beautiful orange. So orange is our first secondary colour, and stick number 3 becomes our nice orange. Beautiful. Number 3 goes there. There you go, buddy. Alright, we're going to continue to work with our orange. So we're going to make this secondary colour orange and we're going to turn it into a tertiary colour. Now the way we do that is by mixing a primary colour and a secondary colour that are next to each other on the colour wheel. So for this example, I'm going to use red and I'm going to use orange. So I'm going to use a bit of my orange that I already have here, and also I'm going to add a bit of red to it. In doing that, you just get a more reddy kind of orange, and that's actually one of our tertiary colours, and his name is red orange. You can see that there. He's going to become number 2 here, and you can see it looks very similar to the red, but it also looks very similar to the orange. He's an in-between colour, and here's our tertiary colour. Now, if you weren't able to find 12 sticks, you wouldn't do the tertiary colours, you would just do the secondary colours that I'm showing you, which is mixing two primary colours together. Makes the task a little bit quicker and more simple. But if you are able to find 12, that's great too. All right, here we go. So our tertiary colour, our first one here, is red-orange. And we know where he sits because he's in between red and orange here. All right, we're gonna go down, move past orange, and we're gonna get our fourth stick. Now he is in between orange and yellow. So we're going to use our orange that we have here and our yellow to make our new tertiary colour, which is called yellow-orange. You can tell that their names are quite obvious, and he's quite a bright, beautiful orange. There he is. All right, and he sits right there. So we've mixed all the colour combinations today that we're going to with red and yellow. So you can see that that has 5 colours in it: red, red-orange, orange, yellow-orange, and yellow. Next, we're going to try and work out some colour combinations of our 2 primary colours, blue and yellow. So what we're going to do is mix our primary colours together to make our secondary colour. So we need to get this guy here, which is in the middle. So from the top, he's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, number 7 in line. Now when we mix 50% of blue and 50% of yellow, the new colour that is created is a beautiful green. Green is our next secondary colour, and stick number 7 is going to become beautiful green. There we go. Green. Beautiful. You might have worked out by now what this guy's going to be. We know what colours to mix because of the colours either side of him. So we've got green and we've got yellow. So for this number 6, we're going to use a bit more yellow. We're going to add it to our green, and that makes a really beautiful yellow green, which is also kind of like a lime green. And he goes in between yellow and green in our rainbow there. Hopefully you're getting nice and confident with your colour mixing now, and you should know that this guy here, we're going to use our green and blue to create a new tertiary colour, which is called blue-green. So I'm going to add some blue to my green here, and this makes a really beautiful turquoise kind of colour. And he sits in there. Wonderful. Our last colour combinations will be that of red and blue. So what we're going to do now is mix together red and blue and see what happens. This makes our last secondary colour. So remember, our secondary colours were orange, green, and then when we mix blue and red, we will find out that our last secondary colour is purple. Now, the second last little stick here, they might be getting small by now, becomes our secondary colour purple. Now the 2 tertiary colours left are these ones here. First we're going to mix our purple and our blue together. So I'm going to mix a little bit of extra blue in with our purple, and a beautiful colour also known as indigo is created, We can also call it blue purple. Very nice dark bluey purple colour. A lot of people don't actually know what indigo is, and now you know. It's what happens when you mix purple and blue. There it is there. Here we go. Our very, very last colour mix that we're going to do is we're going to use our purple and we're going to add some red to it. And that is our last tertiary colour. Kind of makes a bit of a maroony colour, which is also known as red purple. There he is there. Ta-da! Well done, guys. Hopefully you've been able to follow along with that and been able to paint 12 sticks using 3 colours. Well done. Now I'm going to let that dry. Some of them are already dry, but I'm going to let it dry completely because we don't want to get paint all over our frame when we stick them down. This part of the task is an optional added extra. I'm going to teach you now how to paint a sky background for your rainbow on the base of the box photo frame. Now what I'm going to do is mix some white, if you have some white paint, with a tiny bit of blue, and as you can see there, it makes a really lovely sky blue colour. I'm just going to paint a nice layer side to side like this to create the effect of a sky. If you prefer to have a plain background, you might choose to paint the background just plain white, or you could even leave sort of the brown in the background. It's completely up to you, but just for your information, I thought I'd show you how to make a sky. Now, while the paint is wet, I'm going to get my white paint Can you see I'm doing sort of a flicky motion with my white? You could also sort of dab on the white like this. And as you can see, it's creating the effect of a cloud. If you don't like it, you can just paint straight iron over and it will mix with the blue. It creates the illusion of a beautiful cloud. Now the idea of this task is to give you a bit of a keepsake or memory for your time in lockdown. So depending on the type of weather that you've experienced during your time in lockdown might depend on what you show on this background here. For me, most of the time the days have been clear, so that's what I'm going to show for my keepsake. You're going to want to let that dry completely before gluing on your rainbow on top. If the purpose of this artwork for you is a keepsake for our time in isolation or lockdown, what you might choose to do is write the words lockdown 2020 or COVID crisis or isolation time, whatever you would like. You could write it on your frame, but I've actually found a really lovely piece of bark here that I'm going to write lockdown 2020 on here, and I'm going to glue it to my frame. The next thing that we need to do is glue all of our sticks in place into our box frame. So my background is dry and I've sort of arranged my sticks so that I know that they're going to fit inside the frame. Now I'm going to use hot glue today, but I believe that PVA would probably work as well. It would just be a lot messier. So we're going to start with our red. What you need to consider is the points that the stick actually sits onto the board. So I don't need to put glue over my entire stick. I only need to put glue on the points that it's actually hitting the backboard, which is here and here. So I'm going to keep all the rest there so I can give myself a guide as to where I need to put it back. Okay. Obviously, if you're a young child, I really do suggest getting mum or dad to help with this because hot glue can be quite dangerous. So I'm doing the same thing with my second one here, making note of where the points are that it's hitting the board, which is there and there. We can go back in and add more glue later if needed. There. Now for me, there wasn't enough room for my lucky last piece, but I think it probably looks better without it. Get rid of these little hot glue stringy bits. Now let's hope it all comes together in a final step by putting the base into the frame. Yay! Now for me and the sticks that I got, a piece of glass wouldn't fit here, which is why I took the glass out. But if you're able to find sticks that are flatter and you're able to have glass here, it will obviously protect your artwork for more time. As that. I really hope that you've enjoyed doing our keepsake lesson today and creating a rainbow to decorate your home to remember our time in lockdown. Now, I really also hope that you were able to learn a little bit about colour mixing and the fact that primary colours can mix together to make secondary colours and tertiary colours. Now remember, if you're not able to mix all the colours that we did today, or you weren't able to fit or bind 12 different sticks, you can always do your own version of this task. And I'd love to see whatever you've come up with if you'd like to share in the comments below. Also, please make sure that you like the Artlife page and subscribe to us for more future videos.